Have you ever walked into a room and feel like people are watching you, but not in a "what's he doing here" kind of way? More like they sense something different about you. You didn't say a word. You didn't even try to be the loudest guy there. But somehow, you shifted the energy in the room. And the funny part, you don't always notice it. But they do. Women notice, other men notice, even the insecure ones who try to act like they don't. Here's the thing, bro. Being attractive has nothing to do with being conventionally good looking. Yeah, I said it. Because we all know a guy who's shredded, got the jawline, the drip, the looks. But when he talks, there's nothing there. No depth, no presence, no gravity. Meanwhile, there's another dude, not necessarily the most handsome, but the second he enters a space, people feel him. Not just see him, feel him. And you wonder, what does he have? Let me tell you, it's not luck. It's not magic. It's not even something you're either born with or not. It's learned, it's earned, and it's in you if you're willing to see the signs and own them. Because here's what most guys never hear growing up. You can be attractive long before you feel attractive. That's what this video is about. 9 signs you're a highly attractive man, even if you don't realize it yet. And spoiler, most of these signs, they don't come from your abs, your height, or your bank account. They come from your presence, your mindset, and how you move through the world like a man who knows who he is. Let's be honest, dating right now, it's a minefield. You've probably been told one of 2 things. Just be nice, be yourself. The right girl will come along. Or you've heard, bro, get jacked, get money, get cold. That's how you win. And maybe you tried both. You showed up with kindness. You played the good guy card, held open doors, sent the good morning texts, made her laugh, supported her, only to get ghosted, or friend-zoned, or strung along by someone who wasn't ready for a relationship, but somehow found one right after you. So you flipped the script. You tried to be more alpha, more silent, more distant. You pulled back, let them chase, showed less emotion, and yeah, you got attention. But it felt empty, transactional, like you were acting, not being. That emotional whiplash, it messes with your head. And deep down, you start wondering, is there something wrong with me? Am I not man enough? Why does it feel like everyone else gets it and I'm the one still figuring this out? Here's the truth. You're not crazy, you're not broken, and you're definitely not alone. What's actually happening is that nobody ever taught you how to recognize your real power as a man. Not performative power, not fake confidence, not the TikTok influencer version of masculinity. I'm talking about the quiet, steady, magnetic power that comes from a man who's emotionally grounded, self-aware, and no longer seeking validation from anyone, especially not women. That's what this video is here to do. To show you the signs that you already carry that power, even if you've been blind to it. Because guess what? You are attractive, you are desired, you do have that something. You just haven't seen it reflected back to you until now. So let's break it down. 9 signs. You're a highly attractive man. We're going to get specific, we're going to be real, and we're going to hit deep. Let's get into it. 1. You make people feel calm, not just impressed. Have you ever noticed how some people feel safer just by being around you? Not excited, not intimidated, not even overly impressed, just calm, grounded, like their nervous system slows down. That's a massive sign of real masculine attractiveness. Because here's what most guys don't realize. People, especially women, are not just attracted to how you look. They're drawn to how they feel around you. A man who radiates calm energy, who's not reactive, not trying to prove anything, not performing, sends one powerful psychological message. I'm not in chaos, and I won't drag you into chaos either. That's rare, especially today when so many people are anxious, overstimulated, constantly online, and emotionally dysregulated. Now, this doesn't mean you have to be zen like a monk or emotionless. It means you carry a certain internal stillness, a stability, like a lighthouse in a storm. It might look like this. You don't flinch when someone tries to get a reaction out of you. You listen without rushing to talk. You're not over-explaining yourself or trying to fill every silence. You can say no without guilt or anger, just calm certainty. Women feel this. And it's not just attractive, it's magnetic. Because most guys are trying to dazzle with jokes, flex with money, dominate conversations, or peacock with confidence. But a man who can walk into a room, say little, and still make people feel seen, safe, and steady, that man gets remembered. People are hardwired to seek emotional regulation. If someone's nervous system is overactive, they're instinctively drawn to someone who's not. This is co-regulation, and in dating, it plays out in subtle but powerful ways. When you give off calm, confident energy, people want to be around you. Even if they don't know why, you become the anchor in the room, the safe harbor. And in a world full of noise and overstimulation, that's sexy as hell. Master your breathing. When you're triggered, breathe slower than you feel. That's how you reprogram the response. Speak 10 to 15% slower than your natural pace in high-pressure moments. It creates gravity. In conversations, pause. Let silence sit for a beat or two. You'll command attention without even trying. Drop the urge to react. When someone's rude, flirty, awkward, or challenging, meet it with curiosity, not reactivity. Let other people bring chaos. You bring calm dominance. 2. You're selective, not thirsty. You don't chase everything with a pulse. And that confuses the hell out of people. You might not even realize you're doing it, but you're not jumping at every opportunity to flirt, impress, or entertain someone just because they're attractive. Why? Because you know your worth. You're not operating from lack. You're not trying to get picked. And most importantly, you don't need external validation to feel like a man. Now let's be real. That kind of self-possession shakes people up. Some women may get curious, others might test you. A few might even feel challenged. Why? Because most guys don't act that way. Most guys are in pursuit mode 24/7, chasing likes, replies, attention, anything. But you're observing, you're assessing, you're looking for alignment, not just attraction. And that right there is deeply attractive. Because now you're the prize, not in a cocky, arrogant way, but in a grounded, self-respecting way. Let's say you're out at a lounge, and a girl who's used to being the center of attention starts throwing signals your way. You acknowledge her, smile, maybe even engage in conversation. But you're not fawning. You're not feeding her ego. You're treating her like a person, not a goddess on a pedestal. You ask meaningful questions. You listen. You're polite, but you're also discerning. Maybe halfway through the convo, you realize you're not that into her vibe. So you pivot, not rudely, just confidently, smoothly. That's power. That's presence. That's control. Because the minute you stop acting like beauty is rare, you become rare. This one is pure pre-selection and value signaling. When people see that you're not easily impressed, it triggers curiosity and often desire, because we assign value based on perceived scarcity. If you're not constantly chasing, it suggests you have options. You're fulfilled without external validation. You know your standards and won't compromise them for short-term dopamine. That's alpha energy. Quiet alpha, the kind that doesn't need to announce itself. Audit your attention. Where are you investing it? Who's earning it? Stop engaging in conversations just to avoid awkwardness. If you're not feeling it, move on. When someone compliments you or shows interest, say thank you. And keep it moving. No over-justifying, no fishing for more. Remind yourself, your time and energy are currency. Spend them wisely, because the man who values himself will only allow people into his life who value him back. 3. You can hold eye contact without flinching or forcing. Ever lock eyes with someone and just stay there. Not in a creepy, stare into your soul kind of way, but in a calm, grounded, completely present way. That's a power move most guys underestimate. But real ones, they know. Because eye contact is one of the most primal, magnetic forms of communication we have. It's not just about dominance, it's about presence. It says, I see you, I'm not afraid, and I'm fully here. Here's the kicker. You don't have to try to be intense. You don't have to make it seductive. You just have to not look away when it matters, because most guys, the moment they feel attraction or tension or vulnerability, they break. They smile too much. They look down. They laugh nervously. They try to escape the moment. But you hold it. You let her feel the weight of your gaze. You create a pause. And that pause, it's charged. Because in that pause, you're communicating so much without saying a word. I'm not rushing. I'm not chasing. I'm not hiding. I'm right here, with nothing to prove and nothing to fear. You're on a first date. She's mid-story and you're just listening, locked in, not glazed over, not waiting to talk, not checking your phone. Just eye contact, slow nods, little smiles. And when she looks up and meets your eyes, you don't look away. You hold it, just for a beat longer than most people would. She might blush. She might smile nervously. She might say, "What?" And you say, "Nothing. I'm just listening." Boom. That moment right there. Game over. Eye contact signals confidence, comfort with intimacy, and emotional congruence. According to studies in attachment and dating psychology, extended eye contact increases feelings of connection and attraction, even without physical touch. People who struggle with shame or low self-worth avoid eye contact, even if they don't realize it. But when a man can stay present in eye contact without breaking himself or trying to dominate, he's communicating emotional maturity and sexual confidence at the same time. Practice holding eye contact until it feels comfortable, not forced. Use your eyes to listen, not just to watch. Drop the smile and nod reflex. Let your face rest. Let the other person feel your stillness. If someone breaks eye contact, you don't have to. Let them come back to you. 4. You don't overshare, but when you do, it's real. You don't trauma dump. You don't try to impress with deep-sounding monologues. You speak with intention. And when you choose to open up, people listen. Because here's the thing. Being a highly attractive man isn't about being mysterious to the point of robotic silence. It's about discernment. You share selectively, not to gain approval, but to connect. Most guys either bottle everything up and come off cold, or spill everything too soon trying to build instant connection. They'll drop their childhood wounds, past heartbreaks, and emotional scars in the first 30 minutes of conversation, hoping it'll fast-track intimacy. But it doesn't. It usually just feels off, desperate, rushed. You play it differently. You reveal just enough of your inner world to show that there's depth, but you never hand someone your entire emotional blueprint without them earning that access. That restraint, that emotional control. It says, I have nothing to hide, but I'm not performing for connection either. Assuming you're on date 2, the topic of relationships comes up. She asks, what was your last one like? Most guys either shut down. It's complicated. I don't like talking about it. Or overexpose. She broke me. She cheated. I gave her everything. But you take a breath and say something like, we had love, but we weren't aligned long term. I learned a lot, especially about my own patterns. I'm grateful for it now. Simple, mature, honest. You're not hiding pain, but you're also not handing her your identity through your wounds. This is about secure attachment and emotional sovereignty. Oversharing too soon is often a symptom of anxious attachment, where someone tries to earn love through vulnerability, but a grounded, self-aware man doesn't use vulnerability to manipulate. He uses it to connect when it's appropriate. That balance is incredibly rare and incredibly attractive. Get clear on your story. What parts of your life are you okay with sharing and why? Never share something just to get a reaction or to speed up bonding. Ask yourself, would I share this even if she didn't respond how I wanted? If not, don't. When in doubt, share a layer, not the whole cake, because real men don't hide their story. They just don't need to bleed to be seen. 5. You're not afraid to walk away. This is the ultimate flex, and it doesn't require raised voices, ghosting, or cold revenge. It just requires clarity and self-respect. A highly attractive man knows something most people don't. Your presence is a gift, and you're not afraid to take it back. You're not emotionally dependent on being chosen. You're not terrified of starting over. You're not stuck in fantasy, thinking, maybe if I just hold on a little longer. You have a line, and when it's crossed, you don't debate, you detach. And here's the part that most men never realize. That willingness to walk away, not out of pride, not out of ego, but out of principle. That's what makes you irresistible. Because it shows you're not trying to get love. You're trying to give love to someone who's ready, capable, and willing to reciprocate. You're not chasing chemistry, you're choosing compatibility, and that is grown man game. You're seeing someone. It's going well until it's not. They start playing games, taking days to respond, throwing subtle jabs, cancelling last minute, testing your limits. Most guys would try harder, get angry and blow up, or spiral and beg for clarity. But you step back, you assess, you trust your gut. And when you realize the energy isn't mutual, you send that simple, clear message. I like where this was going, but it's feeling misaligned now. I don't do one-sided energy. Wishing you well. Done. Graceful. Firm, no drama. You walk, and she feels it. Not just the absence of you, but the absence of your peace. This is rooted in secure detachment and abundance mindset. When someone knows they have options, when they trust in their ability to connect again, build again, and heal again, they don't cling. And from a psychological standpoint, that calm detachment communicates high relational value. People sense it. And often, the moment you walk away with grace, they come chasing. Not because you're manipulating, but because you showed standards. Write down your deal breakers, not just pet peeves, actual boundary lines. When those lines get crossed, check yourself. Are you staying out of hope or out of fear? Learn to exit before you're drained. The longer you stay beyond your dignity, the harder it gets to leave cleanly. Practice detachment daily. Friendships, text convos, old flings. If it doesn't honor you, you release it. Because when you're not afraid to walk away, people fight to be allowed to stay. 6. You have a strong yet soft presence. You're masculine, but not performative. You're strong, but not rigid. You're grounded, but not guarded. You move through the world with an energy that says, I've been through some tea, I've handled it, and I don't need to posture about it. This combo, strength and softness, is rare as hell, because most men lean way too far in one direction. Either they're hyper macho, always in alpha grind set mode, constantly proving dominance, or they swing the other way, overly accommodating, soft to the point of passivity, afraid to take the lead. You integrate both. You can lead, but you can also listen. You can challenge someone, but you can also comfort them. You can walk into a room with quiet confidence and leave people wondering, who the hell was that? Let's say you're on a date, things are flowing, but then she gets vulnerable, starts opening up about something heavy. Most guys crack a joke to lighten the mood, try to fix it with advice, or freeze up and change the subject. But you lean in, not with words, with presence. You hold eye contact. You nod slowly. You stay emotionally with her without needing to rush it or rescue her. You say something like, "Thank you for sharing that. I respect how honest you're being." That's it. You didn't fold, you didn't flinch. You stayed strong and soft. That contrast is addictive. This one comes down to emotional integration and secure masculine polarity. In modern dating, many women are stuck in hyper-independence. They crave safety, but don't feel like they can trust most men to hold emotional space without turning cold, becoming controlling, or collapsing into emotional fragility. When you can be firm but kind, assertive but compassionate, you trigger a deep subconscious response. This man can protect me and see me. I don't have to shrink or harden around him. That's safety. That's chemistry. That's attraction on another level. Practice active listening without offering solutions. Just hold the moment. Speak from your chest, not your throat. Calm, measured, intentional. Notice where you overcompensate, trying too hard to be hard, or being too passive to avoid discomfort. When someone is emotional around you, remind yourself, I don't have to fix this. I just have to be safe. Because in a world where everyone's trying to dominate or disappear, you show up and you stay. 7. You're mission-driven, not attention-driven. You're not just out here hustling for money, followers, or validation. You're building something that actually matters to you. That's attractive. Not because of the status it brings, but because of the focus it requires. Most guys are reactive. They get up, scroll, chase dopamine, float from one distraction to the next. They're driven by what gives them approval, not what gives them purpose. But you move with intention. You've got vision, discipline, something you're working toward that's bigger than you and bigger than your dating life. You don't need a relationship to feel fulfilled. But if one comes along that complements your mission, great. If not, you keep building. And that, my friend, is the kind of energy that draws the right people because it's rooted in self-respect and clarity. Let's say you're dating someone new. Things are vibing, but your schedule is full. You're building your business, training for a fight, writing a book, whatever your thing is. Instead of ditching your grind to be at her every whim, you say, I'd love to see you. Let me know what day works best within this window. My week's tight because I'm deep in a project. Most guys would fear that response. They'd think, what if she loses interest? But the right woman, the one aligned with your path, she'll respect it, maybe even crave it. Because deep down, people are drawn to someone who's centered in purpose, not looking for someone to complete them. This comes down to core masculine energy, direction, focus, mission. Psychologically, purpose provides internal stability, the kind that makes you emotionally non-needy and self-directed. Women, especially emotionally intelligent ones, can sense the difference between a man who's floating and one who's anchored in something real. It signals, you're not easily distracted, you're not codependent, you're going somewhere with or without her. That's not harsh. That's magnetic. Identify your mission pillar. What's one area of life where you want to leave a mark? Set non-negotiable time for it. Every week, no exceptions. Stop rearranging your priorities to keep people interested. If they're meant for you, they'll fit into the life you're building, not pull you off course. Remember, you don't attract what you chase. You attract what you embody. Because when your eyes are on your path, not your phone, not the crowd, not your ex's Instagram story, you become undeniable. 8. You make people feel seen without needing to be the center. You're not loud. You're not the life of the party. You're not trying to impress anyone. But somehow, people remember you. Why? Because you make them feel something most men don't know how to give. Presence without performance. Attention without agenda. Respect without expectation. In a world where everyone's trying to talk over each other, flex harder, or win invisible social games, you're the one who locks in, listens, remembers names, looks people in the eye. You say something small but real, and it lands because it's rare. You're not trying to be magnetic, you just are. Because making people feel seen is a power move wrapped in humility. You're at a friend's get-together, music's loud, everyone's socializing. Some girl tells you about her art, or her little brother, or how she just moved to the city. Most guys would. Nod vaguely while scanning the room, interrupt with something about themselves, or flirt in a way that ignores what she's saying. You lean in and say something like, that sounds like it means a lot to you. What got you into that? Boom. She freezes for a second, blinks, smiles. Not because you said anything groundbreaking, but because you actually cared. You weren't rushing. You weren't gaming. You gave her space to exist fully, and she felt that. That kind of attention is so rare. It feels like intimacy. This taps into emotional intelligence and relational safety, two things women are constantly scanning for subconsciously. Attraction isn't always about your jawline or your wallet. It's about how you make people feel in your presence. And when you consistently show people, I see you. I'm not here to use you. You can relax around me. That becomes a refuge in a world full of noise, and that is unforgettable. Ask real questions, then listen to the answers. Put your phone away when someone is talking. Full stop. Don't one-up stories. Let people have their moment. Train your attention. Give it like a gift, not a transaction. Because here's the truth. The most attractive man in the room isn't always the loudest. He's often the one who makes everyone else feel like they matter. 9. You're comfortable with silence and you use it wisely. The most attractive men, they're not afraid of quiet. They don't need to fill every space with chatter or noise. They can be still, present, and let the silence speak. And here's the kicker. Silence is powerful because it creates tension. Not awkward tension, but that kind of electric pull that happens when two people are both comfortable with each other and with themselves. You don't need to over-explain, over-compliment, or make things fun all the time. Sometimes, just being together in stillness, sharing space, sharing time, is more magnetic than 1,000 words. You're on a date. The conversation flows, but then a natural pause happens. Most guys panic and rush to fill it. They crack a joke, they start talking about the next topic, or they jump in with something random. But you lean back, maybe take a sip of your drink, and let the silence settle. She's looking at you, maybe unsure of how to react, but you don't break the moment. After a beat, she might smile, look down, and then softly say something like, "It's nice, just sitting here with you." And in that moment, she means it. Because you've allowed her to feel safe in the quiet, not pressured, not performing, just existing. That kind of emotional depth, it can't be faked. Silence taps into emotional regulation and comfort with vulnerability. When you're secure in your own space, you don't need to fill it with constant noise. This is why many women feel drawn to men who can be still and let the silence speak. It's a form of emotional maturity and confidence. In fact, in attachment theory, the ability to be comfortable in silence signals secure attachment, meaning you're not running away from discomfort or using words to manipulate feelings. You're just being. That kind of calm, steady energy, it creates a sense of safety and emotional depth, and that is incredibly attractive. When the conversation slows, don't panic. Just let it be. Learn to sit in quiet moments without feeling like you have to entertain or fill the space. Practice slowing down your speech. Let pauses happen naturally. Observe how silence affects your interactions. Can you just be with someone without forcing a conversation? Because when you can create a quiet, magnetic space, people will want to be around you for the way it feels, not just the way you speak. There you have it. 13 signs you're a highly attractive man, not based on how you look or what you have, but on the way you show up in the world. Being a truly attractive man is about more than physical appearance. It's about presence. It's about purpose. It's about how you handle life's challenges, relationships, and emotions with grace, strength, and integrity. So, here's the challenge. If you want to become the man who naturally draws people in, who commands respect, and who creates deep, meaningful connections, start showing up with all of you. Stop hiding. Stop performing. Embody the man you were always meant to be. If this hit home, leave a comment below and let me know which sign resonated most with you. Have you noticed these traits in yourself? Or is there something you're working on improving? And don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next video. I've got more real talk coming your way. Catch you in the next one.